Hey there, I'm doing something a little bit new today. I just finished interviewing the brothers Nylon. That name should ring a bell to you. If you enjoyed this channel, you should go check out their channel. If you don't know the brothers Nylon, you can't even know their music based on just one of their songs or one of their records. These guys weave through genres and styles while maintaining that DIY charm and high level of musicianship and writing. Without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with the brothers Nylon. It's like, ooh, it's like,
we're live.
But like seriously, really great to meet you guys.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I wanted to meet in the flesh actually because we live pretty close to one another, 45 minutes or so. Like I'm from Long Island, which is about 50 to an hour from Queens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, it could certainly happen. You know, COVID times or odd times here in the city.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
And I don't know what, you know, I'm sure out in Long Island it's you know, different vibes than here. People are going nuts here.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. It's kind of more lackadaisical here. But probably not for the best.
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of what you guys do. Big fan.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
It's like prolific is the word that comes to mind when I think of you guys. Just the amount of material that you guys are both putting out is just like holy shit. It's like, yeah. If you don't mind, I'll throw out some stats. I mean, I know you guys have like 31 releases on Bandcamp and more on Spotify. You all the way back to the great 388 in the early days, and
that was our first official Bandcamp release.
Yeah, was there any other releases before that, or was that like the first?
There was, but it was more of like demos, you know. Mm-hmm. Like that was our first official like album. Yeah. And so we kind of like just uploaded it in 2013, and that was like when Bandcamp. I don't know when Bandcamp was a thing, but they seem to be getting more popular than ever. Like now, you know. Yeah,
it's a great indie platform for sure.
Hell yeah.
And I you know, I totally believe in, you know, the democratization of you know, the way, the good part. The internet has good and bad parts, but one of the great things is that artists like yourself can have a direct line to your fans, you know, directly.
Oh yeah, it's so easy. You just send an album out to all of your followers, you know.
And so I mean, we can talk about that 388. Like, when did you acquire the 388 itself?
So I got into the 388 from my friend Sean Lee. I don't know if you know of him. He's the London producer guy. He's from London, and he took a photo of the 388, and I was always into tape. Like I was recording on the 244 for a while, but then I wanted to up my game. Oh. Hold on.
No, it's all good. We're analog people living in a digital world.
Exactly.
But you were saying about the London producer and your.
Yeah. So he got me interested in that piece of the 388, and I acquired it at a flea market in New Jersey for $300.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was I thought a good deal because now they're about $2,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they went up so high, but you know, they sound sort of mid-fi, not hi-fi, not lo-fi, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And 100%. And so we'll, you know, then I guess that begs the question of like going back, like did you guys grow up in a musical family? How?
Oh, my dad played drums. He taught us like our first beat on drums back when we were like 12 or like 13. I forget. But and then Nick went to school for upright bass. He went to a semester at Purchase College. Mm-hmm. And then I took more. I took more into recording. I was bigger into the art of recording, and I wasn't really like. I was into drumming, but I kind of liked recording more. So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something that Nick and I have in common then, because I went to school for upright bass as well.
Oh, no way! Yeah. Where'd you go?
I grew up near Detroit, so I went to University of Michigan.
Ah.
I was studying with Robert Hurst. Are you
Robert Hurst? Yeah. Do you know that name? I don't know that name, but I don't know Robert, but I do know Tim Cobb.
Mm.
He taught me for like a year at Purchase.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I love your playing. And we can talk about your insane instrumental prowess as we.
I don't know about that, but
well, dude, I mean, I see Nick playing every instrument from every instrument family, and
oh no, he just whatever. If it makes sound, it's for him.
It's incredible. It's not a a lot of people double on whatever instruments, but it's pretty rare to come across such talent that Nick has. So do you consider yourself a bass player first, Nick? Is that kind of your...
Yeah, I think bass primary, like just for like the actual playing the notes. I just get it. I'd like to compose on the bass, or like compose from a bass line standpoint. But I actually sometimes I'm gravitating more towards piano, and I did a couple of courses in piano, but I just like playing different chords and seeing which chords sound different and which chords like I like to play. So and then I transfer all that theory skills on instruments that I don't know how to play so well, like saxophone, trumpet, and I try to like take the theoretical knowledge I know on bass and piano and just transfer it to other instruments.
I hear what you're saying, but you've obviously put in work on those instruments.
Yeah, a lot of time has spent being just like practicing the fundamentals, but not too much though. Like I should probably shed sax a little bit more than I do, but whenever I need to play an instrument, I try to just like warm up on it for like an hour and then track, and then listen back. And if it doesn't sound right, I'll like keep doing it till it sounds semi-pro. Like the tape machines, the semi-pro consumer decks.
I like that mid-fi. I have never heard that. That's very funny.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. I don't know. It's like mid-fi.
And there's 8 tracks on it, right?
8 tracks. Yep.
And you guys do a lot of internal bouncing with that, or do you?
No, I used to do it a lot more. Now I've been digitizing it and then putting it back to tape on 2 tracks and then adding as we go. So which you're very familiar with because I've seen you post a video on external bouncing, and yeah. It's exactly right.
Yeah. So you guys you fill up the 8 tracks and then you do a stereo bounce, and then you bring back in a 2 track, and then it gives you 6 more. Is that
correct?
Cool?
Yeah.
How many times have you stacked? Like,
probably 4 times. 4 times max. Of 6 increments of each one. So it's like something like 38 tracks or something. I don't know. A lot.
It's amazing. Well, just your most recent. I mean, your recent. When you guys just put out Natural Element, like the version from a week ago, I didn't realize that that's an older tune.
Yeah, we're doing it up.
It's incredible. The vocal harmonies, I would imagine, took up a lot of your tracking and stuff.
All right, so it's actually 4 tracks, right? It's doubled 4 times. So it took up 4 tracks, but we then bounced them down to 2. There's a couple sections where it actually has more than, like, it has 4 harmonies, so it would be like 8 harmonies doubled. So there's like a couple parts where there's a little bit more intricate harmonies, and then a couple spots where it's just a double, like a unison line.
It's beautiful. I really, really, I really enjoy both versions. I enjoy the recent update, and then I enjoyed going back and listening to the older version and being like, man, this just it's so good what you guys are doing. And do you see a difference between the instrumental music and the songs that you're making? Like, is it how do you parse that out?
I think the songs, like the lyric songs, have more simplicity, even with like the chords and stuff, and it's a little bit less heady. Like, it's like not so music oriented. It's like more like tunesmiths or something. It's and then the instrumental songs go a little bit harder in the notes and the vernacular.
I like how you call it simple when it's really not that simple.
It's definitely like it has more of a, I guess, mainstream chord progression than like we released a song called like You Press D-Sits, and that song has a little bit more like it changes the keys all the time. It doesn't stay in like one tonic key.
Mhm.
But Natural Element kind of is in kind of like A flat minor, and it stays in like, then it modulates to E major, but it's mostly just in one key, whereas the instrumental songs weave in and out of so many keys.
Yeah, and who would you say are some of the musical influences inspiring that kind of harmonic richness?
For one, I like the way Sean Lee, he kind of like, he modulates to keep his songs kind of flowing. I think that's cool. And Bad Bad Not Good, and even like Arthur Verikai, that he's like an older musician. I'm not sure if he's alive, but
No, I
he
don't think so.
he has a lot of intricate chord progressions, like a lot of half step modulations, and just like keeps the song really interesting all the way through.
When I listen to your music, with my limited knowledge, I'm hearing like the Zappa thing. I'm hearing the
Yep.
definitely the I grew up listening to Yes because of my dad, so like that some of that prog type
Hell yeah.
intricate like the tune you guys have. It's hard. I wouldn't call it a tune. The piece Main Drug takes you on like so many journeys.
Oh, hell yeah. That's another one where we redid it. I don't know if you got to listen to the original, but that's another one where we did it in 2016 and we redid it in 2021. So,
Oh, I don't think I've heard the new one. I'm more familiar with the original
ah,
version.
oh, cool. Yeah, I'll link you up with the new one.
Yeah, it's well, first of all, that tune has just as a musician is so emotionally impactful because of the message,
Ah,
which
sweet.
I love, and it's just take the way you guys take the listener through this journey, and then like I love one of my favorite things is when you pull out the rug from the listener, like you the build, and that almost to a
Ah,
cacophony, and then like and then kind of that then the song kind of re-enters.
yeah, yeah, as with a whole new sound. Yeah.
Yeah, very
Thank you,
very
man.
cool. Oh
Thank you.
man, so good. And so I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind just hearing a little bit. I know we kind of started to talk about your upbringing, but your dad is a drummer. You said, and you wait.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me pause. You guys are
Uh-huh.
twins, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're same birthday. Yep, same birthday.
Fraternal or maternal?
Which is the one where you're not identical? Maternal or
I
identical?
think that's fraternal.
Fraternal. Okay, we're fraternal. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah. So your dad's a drummer.
He is. He plays more for like the spirit behind it. He's not really like a show. Like he doesn't play shows or play out, but he just plays for like keeping his energy up and just for having fun, you know? And that's the only side of music in our family. Just a little bit of drums that our dad plays.
That's amazing. So you guys kind of like got bitten by the music bug and just just
Oh,
kept going at it hard.
yeah, just rode that fader to the end, you know, or not to the end yet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Michael, did you spend any time music during college or after high school or anything like that?
Yeah, I studied some music production at Purchase in New York, upstate, and I just did a semester, but it was really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Like a semester at a real school with like real music gear, I would
Oh,
imagine.
big time. They had some nice gear there. They had like a Rhodes, an Otari 2-track that you could use. You had to buy tape for it, but it was pretty nice to have an Otari 2-track at your disposal.
We're the three of us are obviously young people in the 21st century. Like, why are you guys? Have you ever used DAWs? Have you ever tried? Have you
Oh
ever
yeah, yeah. I started in Audacity,
okay. Mm-hmm.
so that's pretty much my first ever recorder was Audacity, and then I got into 4 tracks because of just the overall sound. I just like the sound more. I heard it on drums and I was blown away. I feel like it affects the drums the most, but that's debatable.
Of course.
Yeah.
I hear you, but I don't disagree with you. I mean, there's also an instant sound gratification of like when you pull out, like I have, the Tascam Porta 2.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's just like you record to it and you're like, you listen back and it's like, oh wow, I didn't have to like do anything.
No, it's already mixed. It's like amazing.
Where in the DAW you have to fuck up the sound to make
Yeah.
it sound interesting.
Put like NLS and like waves and all this crap on it just to make it do what the Porta Studio does.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is that so? How do you view each of your like roles in the brothers Nylon, like creatively and everything else?
Oh, I would definitely say my role is more of like the engineer drummer, and Nick is 100% the songwriter, producer, like cigar chomping businessman. But yeah, I just think he's more of the oversee. He puts it all into perspective, and I just do the engineering and the drumming. You know. I actually think Mike has a lot to do with it though, because I get inspired by all the sounds that he gets on tape. So I like try to like almost test the tape machine to build a song. Like it's kind of like I don't have a song written. I test on the tape, and then if it sounds good, I'll like keep going with that idea. So Mike has a lot to do with the writing, even though he's not physically writing the song.
If you're inspired by a sound that inspires a song often, or a piece of music, just by what the sound is. So Michael is clearly, coming up with some cool tricks on the machine. Then yeah, that'll inspire Nick to pull something out with that. Ooh, that's a cool sound. Let me do X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah, yeah. It's exactly right. It's like, oh wait, that's how it sounds on tape. Okay, let me get it again, or like, let me do this because it sounds like that, or like, making choices in the moment.
I guess the big question is like the ethos of using tape. Like, was it purely a sound thing? Is it? Do you guys love it because of just the limitation of performance? Like, what's the?
It's definitely like 50% sound and like 50% like workflow. I just like the workflow of tape more. I get like it's more finite. It's more like committing, and I guess like 1% hipster cred.
Maybe 5%.
Yeah, 5% hipster cred. So, but yeah, no, I love every tape machine has a different vibe to it. So that's why we have like 5 tape machines.
5, yeah. So what? So something you said though just now before we get to that is you said you prefer the workflow.
Yes. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about like why versus a computer or a DAW?
Well, for one, which is probably the most obvious, you're not staring at a screen while making music. That's like a big no bueno for me. And also just like being able to write down physically what you put on track 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just like planning out your productions, it gets me more like inspired, you know.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I think that actually, for me, is the biggest reason to use
Yeah,
analog machines is the workflow.
the workflow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can,
I wouldn't even mind a like a little Tascam CDR recorder. That
right.
would be cool, you know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Off the screen.
Off the screen, that's like 100% true. Like that's amazing. If you could go 100% off the screen, I mean, there comes a point where you need to transfer
Of
and you
course.
have to go to digital. But if you could like skip that process, I would love that.
Right.
But it's impossible now, you know.
Yeah. And like we were saying earlier about being able to get directly to your fans, that's the benefit of the digital world. You
Yes.
know, because the alternative would be, okay, you like, I don't know, mix down some reels and then that you send that in the mail to you know, if you were like a
To a
total
master
purist.
engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Or you'd have to probably send it to a mastering engineer, and then they'd like duplicate the media in cassette or vinyl, and then send it out to your fans. That's been done like totally, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there's a whole world of people like kind of, you know, in our generation that might be approaching this in a hybrid way. Do you think
Yeah.
that growing up when we did has something to do with why we like to get off the screen?
Yeah, I think like you know, we grew up sort of like in I grew up in 1993, Nick 93. So we saw like the advent of technology like smartphones and stuff. And it's just like, you know, we grew up in like a time period where we had flip phones and stuff, and I feel like the less you can like stare at a screen is better for your mind. And I think that's probably why we gravitate towards tape, because we're not used to all this like desensitization with like screens in our face and ads and all these like, you know, imagery, and it's just too much sometimes. So it's cool to like take a break from the digital, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And I hope anyone listening can like go for a walk.
Yeah, just pop in like a Sony Walkman and
Oh
like
man,
cassette.
yeah, some of those are really expensive. Speaking of expensive, I've got a
Oh yeah,
I've
yeah.
got a just out of curiosity, I have a eBay, you know, tag on a Sony, whatever the original like D6, what was it, WM D6, like the
Oh,
original. And so
Walkman, like the original.
yeah, like the original, like the head of the head of Sony loved the sound of a bigger cassette thing that they developed so much
Yeah.
that he asked his engineers to make it portable. And that's the impetus
Wow.
for that's why the Sony Walkman existed. But the original Sony Walkman is like a professional, you know, and
Yeah,
people,
tape player.
yeah,
Yeah,
and recorder,
and recorder.
and people sell those for like a grand or $1,500, which is
No way, more than a Porta Studio.
yeah.
Holy crap! Oh my god.
There's a little bit more hipster cred to those. I don't have the money to buy one, but I just have them pop up in my email. I'm just like,
Oh, big time. Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Like one is
okay.
available.
Yeah, okay, I'll look at it. I'm like, okay, all right, never mind.
Yeah. When I get that stimulus money, I'll buy that.
Yeah, yeah. The 2000, I mean 1400.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm glad to hear it's more about workflow, because I think there's a myth that gets passed around. I mean, certainly, I mean, it's not a myth. There is a sound to tape machines.
Absolutely.
And that is at 100% a familiarity, kind of like how we love the sound of a SM7B or
Yeah.
whatever.
RE20.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a Fender P bass.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
like where our ears are so accustomed to that sound, so it's truly, yeah, partly about that, but then also like being young and wanting to get off the screen and
That too. Yeah, it's both really. It's the sound and it's the off the screen, you know.
So we're only in it for the likes. That
Oh
recent
yeah, the Casper Jesus.
what sorry, I don't know what you mean. Casper Jesus.
Oh, oh, we're only in it for the likes. That the album,
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Casper Jesus. That's a collab with this guy from where's he from? Scotland, I think so. Scotland, and he we just did that via we digitized our tape machine and just sent it to him, and he did some vocals on top.
Oh,
So
those are him. Those
yeah,
are his
yeah,
vocals.
yeah, yeah.
And were those his lyrics?
Those were his lyrics. Yep.
Man, he's got a sense of humor.
He's very funny. He is amazing.
There's like layers of stuff in those lyrics that are deep and very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you know the only song Nick sang on was "Jazz Is Not Dead," so that's the only song Nick sang on.
Love that song. I love the Teen Town reference in that
Yeah,
song.
yeah, that bass line was
Bling, bling.
yeah, the Juno chords, yeah, the Joseph Zawinul.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I work out of a studio in Greenpoint, and the owner is a guy named David Rosenblatt, who's a drummer for like Barry Manilow and stuff. And
What?
was
Oh, that's
on,
crazy.
and he was, I think, one of the last recordings Zawinul did. He was working with him in that studio too. So
That's
it's like Zawinul
pretty cool.
vibes, which are nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, who can synth players like Zawinul is the one of the he took that instrument and made it sing like no one
Oh,
could.
yeah. I mean, him, Chick Corea, you know,
Yeah.
but he's not really. He played the Moog synthesizer, but Joseph Zawinul, he played like modular synths, and like you know, he played the real thing.
Yeah, for that extra 5% hipster cred. When I listen to Brothers Nylon, I'm hearing so many different influences and genres, and I'm just curious who are, as a group and maybe individually, who your biggest influences are musically.
Well, I think definitely like I know we keep saying his name, but Sean Lee, he's like one of our biggest inspirations. I have almost all of his records on vinyl. Who else? I love AM vocally. AM is an amazing vocalist and singer songwriter. And lately, who you should also interview, you have to do this guy. You have to check out Slugbug.
Slugbug.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's from Queens. His real name is Paul D. Miller, and he's our tape tech. And yeah, you got to get him on your show.
Yeah, Paul, I've been someone connected us.
Oh yeah, was it Mark Williams?
Probably.
Yeah, he comments on almost every video of ours.
Yeah, yes.
But
Same.
yeah, he's pretty cool. But I think
cool.
he's sort of connecting the dots, you know, from tape machine repairman to musician.
Nick, you mentioned some of your influences earlier. How how deep down the jazz rabbit hole have you gone, and who are some of your jazzers?
I think as far as jazz goes, like they're not really like jazz, but they're pretty like they have like Afrobeat inspired rhythms as Budos Band. And I just love the Barry and trumpet combo. I think that it's so cool to have like the really high and the really low playing in unison. It's like a huge sound. And they inspired a lot of tunes that like I try to just almost emulate their sound by I got a Barry sax and a trumpet because of them, and I just love that timbre. But yeah, even like I think Bad Bad Not Good, they inspired a lot of piano stuff, and I got a tenor sax because of Leland Whitty, and he inspired like tons of just that jazzy stuff, adding extensions to chords. And Thundercat, Flying Lotus,
Mm-hmm.
and even like artists that work with Philo, Baths, and Erica Badu, Jay Dilla, kind of like more hip hop inspired. But that's like it's more like hip hop jazz. But I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, again, coming from the Detroit area, Jay Dilla is like a you know not a god, but like a
Icon.
icon. Thank you. Icon is the word, and huge influence over the area.
Yeah.
Even if you don't even realize it growing up there. You mentioned the Barry. I love your Barry playing. I mean, I'm partial to the
Thank you.
Barry sax.
Yeah.
And I agree, it's a great texture. Isn't that some of the Stevie Wonder stuff is just two horn stuff?
Yeah, it's like a lot of
Usually
like
tenor.
trumpet and then a low horn.
Yeah, trumpet and tenor, I think usually, but trumpet and Barry is great.
Yeah.
It's crazy how minimal you can get and get such a big sound.
Yeah.
Like you don't need.
It's definitely cool putting reverb, like real spring reverb on horns. It makes it sound really like just like a war horn or something.
Mm. Yeah, where you get the mechanical movement of the boingy
Of
boing,
the boingy boing.
which I think I have right.
Oh, nice. What's that? The
It's
Pioneer?
it's the mic stand.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
It's sometimes like I'll knock my desk and I'll be like, oh, but
Yo, put a transducer on that mic
yeah,
stand.
right. I probably should like a piezo or something.
Yeah, piezo pickup. Yeah.
I should try it.
Here, I'll show off my reverb. Hold on.
Yeah.
So I have two of these. These are built-in tanks.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I have two that are identical, so you could send signal to both and get a stereo spring reverb.
Ooh.
So, yeah,
Fun.
it's like a makeshift Orban spring. You ever hear of that company, Orban? Okay, they have a great stereo spring reverb that I'm trying to fake. So,
Do you know what the origin of spring reverb is? Like
yeah, it wasn't originally used for cars that for amplification.
ooh, I haven't heard
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was used in cars back in the 60s to like amplify the sound coming from their receivers and like the radio. And
Man.
yeah, it was big time during the loudness wars, the original loudness wars. So,
Well, I know that Hammond were putting them in their organs in the 30s.
oh right, so that could be the origins.
Yeah.
The original origin of spring reverb could have been for organs. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense because I do see Hammond organs and Wurlitzer organs having the spring reverb tanks built into them. I think Farfisa as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. Isn't it fun?
Oh my God, springs for days.
So you guys like the mechanical? Obviously, as you're using tape machines, I assume your outboard gear when you're mixing is all mechanical or rack stuff.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I have a rack right here. It's not very amazing, but it's pretty. I have the Rev 7 for reverb. I have some compressors and just some cheesy flangers and stuff. So.
Oh man, but the cheese is great. Got to put
oh
cheese
my God,
on,
I love cheese.
cheese on toast.
Yeah, some avocado on that. Yeah,
gotta have the cheese.
the cheese is what makes the music come alive. Yeah.
And some of those units from like the 80s and the 90s, like some of those weird digital ones, have such odd charm to them now.
Oh, I know. They have this like funny sound that you could like a vibrato or something that just sticks out or like.
Yeah, my favorite effect on the guitar is that Boss chorus. I mean,
oh yeah, you have the original one, the Boss chorus and the CE1 or.
you would think, but no, I have the Wazacraft. They're the Japanese recently have done. Boss has employed like serious builders, and they call it their Wazacraft line, where they're
Really?
taking the old circuits and just duplicating them. So it's just a little, standard Boss looking foot pedal, but it has the CE1 circuit. It has the with the vibrato, and then it has the
Nice.
CE2 on it also, which you just switch between. And it's like,
Wow.
and to me, it's like, and it can go stereo, and
Oh, nice.
and I you can, it's like we were saying earlier about like the Fender bass and the microphones, like the sound of that effect to me is just so ingrained in the music that I like.
Oh, legendary. Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't care about other chorus pedals. How much different are they?
They're not very different. Yeah. You could buy a Strymon for $500, or you could buy a Dan Electro for $40, and they'll probably do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. I have one of my good friends, close bandmates and stuff. A guy named Colin Stanley. He has a Strymon Volante, which is a tape, a crazy tape unit.
Cool.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing, but I don't know why I prefer to just run stuff through like my German Uhr machine or
Oh, that
this
Uhr is so dope. Yeah.
man. It's I got I saw. Do you guys watch that Tech Moan
Yes.
YouTube channel?
Yes, I saw him. Didn't he? He had like an. Oh no, it wasn't him who had the Uhr. Or was it?
It was, yeah.
Oh, it was.
The
Okay,
new
yeah.
old stock. And
Yeah.
he put out that video, and I just was like,
Need that.
I don't know, don't know
Oh
why.
man. Yeah, he's a dope guy. You ever see his Revox one where he's like he had the Revox B77?
No, I have to. I thought I saw all of his videos, and I haven't.
Oh.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, check that one out. I used to have the Revox B77, and then I sold it like a tit. So yeah, that was a nice mastering machine. But now I have the 32. So
Oh, the
Tascam,
yeah.
Tascam 32.
Okay.
It's over there, and it's got it's got 2 speeds, which I like. I like that you could go from 7.5 to 7.5, 15 or 15. You could go, and it sounds good. It's a little fluttery though. That's the only problem.
Yeah. When sometimes you don't want it to be.
Right.
And so earlier you mentioned you have 5 tape machines.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
let's talk about them.
Sure. Yeah. I got the MS16, which is the new acquired 16 track. I have the Tascam 244. I have the Tascam 388. And then I have the Tascam 32 and the 80-8.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that one, man.
That one's a beast. Yeah.
So
TAC.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like this thing.
Like that boy. Yeah.
So hypothetically, on a desert island, which doesn't make sense because there's no electricity.
No electricity.
But if you could only live with one of those 5, like what do you think it would be and why?
Lately, I've been really digging the MS16, but I'm gonna have to opt for the great 388. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like there's a vibe to it that is like so crunchy and warm, and
Pops at you.
yeah, it pops. The audio just is so. Nick said something last night when we were tracking something. He said it's very mono sounding, like very one dimensional, but what it lacks in the stereo field, it makes up for in like its crunch and it's like vibe. So
Man, I love it. I love the stuff that you guys have made on the 388. I agree.
oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I love that deck. I love it.
It's got to be the reels that versus the cassette and the 8 tracks versus 16. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like that something. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about that deck that I love.
Well, I'm glad you guys have it. I'm glad you're making music on it. And speaking
Thank you.
of like so I kind of hinted at it earlier, but you guys are very prolific. So are you just you're continuing to work, and you're
Yeah.
what's the future for Brothers
So
Nylon?
we have a couple of releases that are coming out. We're releasing like a song a month on Spotify, but we plan to release two albums. One of them is already done, called Elevator Vibes, and another one is yet to be made. It's kind of like it's cinematic and like funky. It kind of like blending strings with like a Soul 45, and I think it'll be cool because it's like it's going to be on the 388 mostly, so it'll have like that crunchy sound but with like lush strings, and that's going to be uploaded probably next month sometime, and because we already have 5 tracks done.
Nice. How long does it normally take you to finish a track, start to finish, roughly?
um 2 days,
2 days.
like because of the tracking. I write my string parts out in Guitar Pro 7, and then I print them out and then just kind of start the tracking, and then it takes a day to mix it.
Guitar Pro 7. What I don't even know what that is. What is Guitar Pro 7?
It's well, Guitar Pro 5 or Guitar Pro came out like in the 2006, 2007, and it's just a guitar notation software, kind of like Sibelius but just for guitar. And I just find it really easy compared to Sibelius because I don't know how to use that too much. And it does, if you just take off tablature, it'll give you the notes, and then you could print it out, or Adobe Reader, and then it's just a lot easier to write out my parts than to just memorize them all the time. I used to memorize them a lot, but now I have to write them out.
Well, you're composing some pretty complicated stuff, and so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you need some reference, I'm sure. Uh,
Oh yeah. Even if it's like a backing, like if I have a string part that I want to add, I'll start it on guitar. I'll just play it on guitar or keyboard, and then I'll dupe it so it sounds like in tune and the way I like it and stuff.
yeah, I love your orchestrations. Your doublings and stuff are really, really fun.
Thank you.
I know we talked a little bit about the Barry trumpet and stuff, but
Oh yes.
yeah, all over the place. You're mentioning strings, and that reminds me of the album Infinite, which is another recent one.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more kind of
Acoustic.
composed for acoustic instruments like banjo, cello, upright bass, acoustic, and it was kind of in the vein of Punch Brothers. I got the vibe from like Chris Thiele and like almost like
Mandolin.
mandolin music,
Yes,
folk music.
love it.
Folk music. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such an interesting departure from, or at least to me. Maybe you guys have done stuff like that in the past, because I
No.
haven't been able to go through your whole catalog.
Oh yeah, no worries. That's got to be a long journey. Yeah.
But I love that record. And that's exactly the vibe. The Punch
Oh
Brothers,
man.
Chris Thiele,
Yeah, Chris Thiele, Punch Brothers, folky. Yeah.
very cool. And I love the no, no offense, Michael, but it's the
The lack of
lack of
drums. Yeah.
drums.
Yeah. No, no.
You
I
know,
no offense taken. Yeah.
yeah, or again, orchestration wise, like it's like such a huge, when the rhythm, the groove is driven by the acoustic instruments, and you
Hell
don't
yeah.
need the drums there. It's so fun.
It just didn't need him. Well, that's what we did. We did some drum takes, and we were like, nah, it was better without him. You know?
Yeah, very cool. Are you guys familiar with a group called the Olum? Ollam?
No.
You should check them out. It's kind of a Wolfpack adjacent. I don't know if you're familiar with Wolfpack at
Oh,
all.
of course. Yeah.
It's Joe Dart on bass, Tyler Duncan on the pipes.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's kind of like a Wolfpack, but like
It's Irish.
oh, it's Irish. Okay.
Yeah. Joe Dart is the only part of Wolfpack who's in it, but it's
Oh.
but well, Tyler Duncan produces a lot of Wolfpack stuff or records. The earliest Wolfpack recordings were done in his basement.
Interesting.
And yeah, that's some Ann Arbor stuff. I highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out.
I will be on that. Yeah.
I think they just released their second record after like 10 years because they're all like busy doing other things.
Oh yeah, they got like different projects going on.
Yeah, it's like their side project, but it's really good, and I think you
Olum?
guys would really dig it.
Olum.
Yeah, OLLL, 3 L's,
3 L's,
AM.
Okay, Olum. All right.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that record, it's so good. The Infinite. I'm talking about Infinite. It's
thank you. That's like one of our more acoustic albums. So
more recent albums.
Recent albums too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love the strings on that and your past records. Was it what was one of them?
Library strings.
Library strings.
Yeah, that was like all like about 70s string arrangements and library music. So
yeah, so and you got the yacht rock, library music. Like, is that how you kind of, when you're approaching making an EP or an album, it's
definitely in our head to do a concept thing, like about the genre or about the implied genre, but we usually muck it up somewhere along the lines and just do our own thing. So it's like kind of biting off of some other people. But in doing that, you create your own. It's sort of sound,
Absolutely, yeah. That's why we love listening to the Brothers Nylon. We want it. You guys, so you have your indelible imprint on what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, man.
This is a big compliment in today's musical landscape, but it might sound like a backhanded compliment.
Hit me.
Your music is anti-perfectionist while maintaining a high level of playing and writing. Like,
I'm for that. Yeah, I don't like too much perfection. So that means a lot actually. That means like that's awesome.
Like there's when I listen, it's almost like listening to a live group or something on your records, and it's in the landscape of today, obviously with what's on the radio and things, no diss to that kind of music. It's its own, it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup. I like to use food analogies. So a lot of engineering and thought went into making a Reese's peanut butter cup. But at the end of the day, it's not, it gets you high and makes you feel good for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
That's like pop music to me. Like, it's really cool. It's like a Reese's peanut butter cup. But your music is more like a hearty meal, a Sunday roast.
Oh, okay. That's amazing.
And like a Sunday roast, there might be some gristle on it, or there might be, I don't know, burns here and there.
Too much salt, but maybe like but it's like better for you. I don't know.
Yeah. This has been really fun. I've never done this before.
Yeah, is this your first official like interview for your channel? Or
yes.
Is this going on your channel? Is that a question?
It is.
Oh, it is. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Nice. I know we didn't like sign any waivers or anything.
Oh, no, it's cool. I like the free form nature. I don't care about the signing.
Ultimately, it's I just want to talk to people who I'm inspired by, and you guys are really inspiring.
Oh, likewise, man. I always check out your videos when I see them in my feed, and it's like refreshing. I loved your high bias cassette one because I actually look for those differences, and it's nice to have somebody that shares that view about like, oh wow, we're actually listening to that deep,
Oh yeah, like the different cassette types.
And the different cassette types, different high bias versus ferric, and like, it's just interesting to me.
A lot of YouTube channels are just tell you what they think. I'd rather just show.
Yeah, let the viewer decide.
Yeah. Like, can you hear the difference between a VCR and a reel-to-reel?
Exactly.
Some people were pissed.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, it's
Or
proof.
what, like the comment section is heated or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
a little
damn.
bit. I mean, even in my small audience. But you know, this is the first time interviewing people. But again, like I said, I'm really inspired by what you guys are doing, and I'm sure I speak for everyone. We hope to see you continue doing what you're doing.
Oh, there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. We are just starting.
Yeah,
You know,
that's great to hear.
awesome.
In the words of Sean Evans, let the people know what you got going on in your life.
Yeah, so basically for the rest of the day, we're gonna do Rockwell Welch, this track that we wanted to redo and do the strings over because I lost the stems. That's one bad thing about computers is you lose the files over time because after 10 years,
Right.
they disappear.
Yeah.
But I have the reel, and that is amazing. So
Nice.
yeah, but we're just gonna be doing that for the rest of the day. So
Cool.
yeah,
Cool. Well, it's really great to meet both of you, and hopefully we'll connect at some point in the future. And
Oh yeah,
maybe
man, we
in
should.
person.
After all this malarkey is done, I feel like we should travel to Queens, or you could come to our studio and we could do some collabo.
Yeah, man, I'm totally down.
Yeah,
Hedgehog. I love it.
yo, I will actually tell you the directions to get here via train, and then we could like set something up. That'd be nice.
Yeah, man, I'm totally down. I would love
Okay.
to. Would love to.
Awesome.
And yeah, so thank you. And
You're
I don't
welcome,
know
man.
I don't know how to close. I don't know how to close it.
Yeah,
But
no, thank you, man.
we'll just say that.
This has been awesome.
So there you have it. If you made it this far, what do you think? Should I interview some more people? Let me know in the comments below who you'd like to see interviewed on this channel. This is new to me. I've never interviewed anyone before, so thank you very much for watching. And as always, peace and be good to each other. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need.